You've heard the experts say it about Jeffrey Dahmer. Gacy dislikes the comparison.
What do I think of Jeffrey Dahmer? I don't know the man personally, but I'll tell you this, that's a good example as to why insanity does belong in the courtroom. Because if Jeffrey Dahmer doesn't meet the requirements for insanity, then I'd hell to run into the guy that does. Beyond that, I have no comment on Jeffrey Dahmer because I'm not Jeffrey Dahmer. And I would not, whether it's Berkowitz, whether it's Bundy, whether it's Williams.
Hola, buenas tardes. Representative Latinos Against Spooky Shit, Jonathan Perez here with co-host
Kellen.
And we are going to continue our dive into John Wayne Gacy's murder spree, picking up where we left off last episode. And we're going to continue just seeing what his MO was, who his victims were, and following the bloodbath that he left behind. Content warning, this is going to be a darker episode. Again, we are going to be talking about some of the victims. We're going to be talking about his methodology, and we're going to be talking about, his entire serial killer career. So strap in, folks. It should be a gruesome one.
Yeah, it'll be quite the episode. Quick thing before we start, I want to do a make good for last week. Gacy was not a professional clown. He's a self-taught clown.
Like most men in the dating scene.
Yeah. So yeah, just to do good. I think that was towards the end of last week's episode. So I thought I could get this done in 2 parts, folks, but it turns out it's going to end up being 3. A lot more happened than I thought there was. So yeah, well, let's just dive right into part 2.
Ooh.
Wait, before we start part 2, I do want to ask you your top 5 Disney Pixar movies.
Before we do that, we're the spooky guys. I forgot to say who we were.
Oh, are the spooky guys.
Pixar?
Yeah.
Oh, Pixar's hard for me to
remember. Disney,
remember.
Pixar.
Yeah.
You can just do Disney if you can't remember the Pixar ones.
I'm trying to remember the bouncing thing. Because, Toy Story is Pixar, right?
Yeah.
Incredibles.
Pixar.
And this is no particular order.
Anything with a fat mommy butt? Pixar.
Dude, fucking Mrs. Incredible? Thick. Also, when she gave birth, do you think she had a push, or did she just extend herself and the doctor just walked in and picked him up?
You just made me insanely uncomfortable. I don't know.
Just asking for a friend. Because if you have the ability, why go through childbirth, right? Anyways, that's food for thought. Just think about that. Chew on it for a second.
I don't want to.
The Incredibles, Finding Nemo, absolute classic. Absolute classic. Chicken Little. Is Chicken Little Pixar?
Yeah.
It's got to be Pixar.
Pixar and Disney are technically the same company.
Not anymore. Yeah. They are now. They weren't then.
I'm just tying them together. I'm not asking you for 2 separate lists.
Shut up. Stop yelling at me. You're making me nervous. You're going to make me come, dude.
I'm sick, so I don't mean to cough in the mic if you can hear me.
Cough in my mouth. Lilo and Stitch, if we're just combining everything, then in that case. El Dorado, because representing my people being colonized.
Yeah.
Actually, wait a minute. You're Catholic. You son of a bitch.
I was raised Catholic. Let's see. So 5-1.
I'm sorry, I don't remember asking you.
Oh, my bad. Let's just start the episode.
Yeah, let's go.
Fuck, I just had one.
My bad.
Damn it.
Cock blocked your thought.
You did. Totally cock blocked my thought. Finding Nemo's on there. How to Train Your Dragon. Love How to Train Your Dragon. Some epic moments with their music, and I'm pretty excited for the live action one. Ice Age.
Oh.
The original Ice Age.
Dandelion must be the last one of the season.
What was that? 3?
Yeah.
There's another one.
Goofy movie.
Oh, dude, I love the Goofy movie. And then
we were just listening to the soundtrack earlier.
Yeah. Tarzan and Mulan are tied for number 1 because of their soundtracks.
Because of Phil Collins. Phil Collins, you absolute fucking monster.
I love Phil Collins, man.
So good. So good.
Anyway, so
anyways, death.
Fuck our day. Good Christmas. So, where we left off, John Wayne Gacy had created his alter ego, Pogo the Clown.
And again, he did not go to school for this one.
No, he did not go to school for it.
He just YouTubed it.
Yeah.
Or whatever they had at the time.
So, he performed his Pogo at children's hospitals, parades, political events. Like I said, he was a self-taught clown. Most clowns have rounded makeup, and it's a psychological thing that you learn at clown school because the rounded edges make it friendlier.
Really?
Yep.
Huh. Then why am I still fucking
Gacy's
horrified?
Clown Pogo, everything is jagged. Like his smile,
yeah.
all of his makeup comes to a point. It's not rounded off.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of the time after like performing in those events, he would go to his favorite bar, which is the Good Luck Lounge in Chicago.
Is it still?
I don't know if it's still the Good Luck Lounge.
Okay, that'd be interesting
But
to go
he'd
there.
go to the Good Luck Lounge still dressed as a clown. Yeah, and he would stay dressed as a clown quite often, especially when he got home. And he said it helped him
Really?
regress back into his childhood.
Okay, so it was healing for him.
Yeah.
Okay, love that.
In 1975, Gacy told his wife that he was bi, and on Mother's Day of that year, after having sex, he said, "This would be the last time we will ever have sex."
Told her that.
Yep, told that to her face.
Damn.
He ended up, he's very adamant that he's not gay. Very adamant that he's not gay. So after that, his wife had found teenage ID cards, wallets, shirts that were too small for Gacy, as well as seeing him hanging out with teenagers in the garage and around the house. When she asked him about all that stuff that was going on, he told her to fuck off and stay out of his business.
What, man can't have hobbies anymore? Jesus, I swear, we can't be happy.
Can have friends over?
Yeah, you're embarrassing me in front of my friends, Mom.
In May of 1975, he hired a 15-year-old named Anthony Antonucci, and in July of that year, Gacy went to Antonucci's house and drank alcohol and watched some heterosexual stag films. It's just porn.
Yeah, right.
Straight porn. Before Gacy wrestled Anthony to the floor, cuffed his hands behind his back. One of the cuffs came loose, and Anthony freed himself and wrestled Gacy to the floor, taking the key from Gacy, uncuffing himself, and cuffing Gacy's hands behind his back. As Gacy lay there on the floor handcuffed, Gacy was making constant threats, but after a little bit, Gacy would calm down and told Anthony that if he uncuffed him, he would leave. Antonucci ended up
He trusted him.
Yeah.
Never trust a man that's handcuffed.
he uncuffed him and he left.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did.
Oh.
He uncuffed him and he left. In July of 1975, Gacy, another PDM employee of Gacy's, John Butkovich. He was 18 years old.
Sorry, just the name got me. It got me good.
Yeah, Butkovich.
Butkovich, I hardly know her.
He went missing in July of 1975. They found his parked car near the corner of Sheridan and Lawrence with his keys still in the ignition and his wallet in the car.
Shit.
Gacy had lured him to his house with a promise to discuss overdue pay. Once there, Gacy gave him alcohol and tricked him into putting the handcuffs on and then strangled him.
How do you trick somebody into putting the handcuffs on?
He calls it the handcuff trick.
Oh, he has a name for it?
So what he does is he cuffs himself behind his back and he hides the key between his fingers, and then he gets himself out and he's like, "Here, now you try it."
No shit.
And most of the time he does these, he's dressed as a clown. So
the Rizzler.
Yeah, the use of handcuffs became a very frequent method for Gacy, who would sometimes tell his victims he was showing off to them in a magic trick. All you had to do was wait for the story to
I'm sorry.
come through.
I shot my load a little early there. My bad. Swear to God, this doesn't happen all the time.
Butkovich's parents were suspicious of Gacy and called the police 100 times over the course of 1975, urging them to investigate further, but the police never did. So, yeah, 100 times
100
in a year. So, yeah, he'd be like, "Oh, let me show you a magic trick," and he shows them, unlocks himself, puts it on them, and then a lot of them, he's like, "I'm going to rape you now," and there's nothing you can do about it.
Damn.
In 1975 is also the year that Gacy decided he was going to start looking for more sex with young men.
But again, he's not gay.
He's not gay.
Yeah, no.
He's just bi.
He's okay. He's by him fucking self.
Yeah. He referred, I think we talked about this in the first episode, but he referred to this method as cruising. Later that year in 75, Carol would divorce him after having a dispute with the checkbook. She ended up living there with him until February of 1976 when she got her own apartment for her and her kids. After the divorce was finalized, the neighbors frequently noticed that late at night they would hear screaming, crying, and whimpering, like a moaning whimper sound, as well as his car leaving very early in the morning or arriving very late at night. So again, no one's thinking anything of it.
So you hear these sounds, you're like, that's normal. Yeah, he's going through it, poor
like
guy.
2-3 in the morning, you hear screaming and crying, and
Yeah.
that's horrible.
What is this, Bible camp? Jesus.
Yeah, it I don't know. Yeah. Gacy kidnapped and murdered 18-year-old Daryl Sampson. He was last seen on April 6th of 1976. He was buried under the dining room with a cloth rag shoved down his throat.
Jesus.
5 weeks later, on May 14th, 15-year-old Randall Reffitt disappeared from his high school. Reffitt died of asphyxiation. His body was found in the crawl space. Just hours after Reffitt vanished, 14-year-old Samuel Stapleton vanished as he was walking to his sister's house. Both were murdered in the same evening.
Jeez.
Gacy would later refer to this as doing a double.
Double kill.
On June 3rd, 1976, just a few weeks later, Gacy killed 17-year-old Michael Bonin. He disappeared while traveling to Waukegan. He was strangled with a ligature and buried beneath the spare bedroom.
With a what, I'm sorry?
A ligature.
What did you call me, and what is that?
A ligature is like a cord or a rope or something.
Okay.
That he ties. And it's called the rope trick. It's the same as the handcuff trick.
But
like
with a
he'll
rope.
tie their hands, and then he'll be like, "Oh, here, I'll show you the rope trick," and he'd like put it around their throat, and then he'd just tighten it.
So it's like a tourniquet.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. All I can think of is that scene from Batman with the Joker. You want to see a magic trick? And just slams his head into a pencil. It's like, Jesus.
I'm gonna make this pencil disappear. So 10 days after that,
So his first victim was which year? Because it was
that was in 1972. January of 72 is when he killed his.
Oh, so this is all in the same.
His first victim, yeah.
Oh shit.
His second victim, there was kind of that gap. It was like right after his divorce, and
Right.
then
I mean, listen, you're going through divorce. You try to cope the best you can. I get it.
yeah. So, and another big thing, I don't think I mentioned it last week. His father died. So he no longer was like being oppressed by how his father viewed him.
Sure. He no longer had that.
Yeah, and that's actually that's what caused him to tell his wife that he was bi, and then to tell her like I'm not.
Oh, because he
having
didn't have
sex
that
with you
judgment anymore
Yeah.
from his dad, his old man.
So June 3rd was when Michael Bonin was killed, and then 10 days later, 16-year-old William Corll was murdered and buried in the crawl space. He was one of 4 that would be killed between June 13th and August 6th of 1976.
Jeez.
The other 3 have never been identified. 2 are teenagers and 1 is an adult.
Ooh, an adult. That's pretty out of his MO.
On July 26, 1976, Gacy picked up 18-year-old David Cram as he hitchhiked. Gacy offered him a job with PDM, and on August 21st, Cram moved into his house. The next day, while Cram was drunk, Gacy dressed as Pogo the Clown, tricked him into wearing handcuffs. Gacy swung him around while holding the cuffs, and Cram would escape. He escaped with one hand, kicked Gacy in the face right after Gacy had held him down and said, "I'm going to rape you." A month later, again, Gacy, dressed as Pogo the Clown, was standing in the doorway of David's room. He said, "David, you don't know who I am, and I think it's better if you just give me what I want." David resisted, wrestling Gacy to the ground. To this, Gacy said, "You ain't no fun." Cram ended up moving out the next day and quit PDM a week later, although he did work for Gacy a few more times throughout the years.
Sorry, just the thought that the next day they have a roommate meeting in the dining room. Just like, listen, man, I didn't complain when you ate my leftovers. I was all right when you used my detergent. But the whole clown thing, I don't think I can do it.
Yeah, but then continued to work for him.
Yeah, but then
over the next few years. On August 5th, 1976. So this is just a little backtrack in time. A 16-year-old named James Hackinson went missing. Hackinson went missing after calling his family. His body would be found in the crawl space beneath the body of 17-year-old Rick Johnston, who was last seen alive on August 6th. 2 more unidentified males are thought to have been killed between August and October of 1976. Those were just 2 more bodies that they had found in the crawl space. On October 24th of 1976, Gacy killed friends Kenneth Parker and Michael Marino. The 2 were last seen at a restaurant in Chicago. 2 days later, 19-year-old William Bundy disappeared after telling his family he was going to go to a party. He was suffocated and found in the crawl space.
This is what happens when you go to parties, underage kids.
Mm-hmm. And William Bundy also worked for PDM. Crazy. At some point in time.
So it feels like it's like a 40-60 on whether they worked for him or not.
A lot of people he killed worked for him.
Damn.
And nobody tied it together.
It took him so long.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's pretty bad.
That just goes to show, hey, be an outstanding member of your community and nobody suspects a thing.
Yeah, honestly. In December of 1976, PDM employee, 17-year-old, another PDM employee, Gregory Godsick, disappeared, and he was last seen leaving his girlfriend's house. He worked for PDM for 3 weeks before he went missing. He told his family that he was digging trenches for some drain tile in Gacy's basement.
And nobody thought to, like, that's crazy to me. Were the families, like, all big advocates of, like, hey, check out Gacy?
Some of them were, yeah. Like, so his parents, they contacted Gacy. They contacted Gacy about the disappearance. Gacy claimed that Godsick had left him a voicemail claiming that he was running away from home and asked if he could have his money in his next paycheck in advance. When they asked if they could listen to the voicemail, he said that he deleted it.
Man, what a time to be alive back in the day where you could just get away with shit. Now it's like, oh, well, just undelete it. It's saved in the cloud. Yeah, you just got to go to your settings and go to It's like, fuck, I can't get away with nothing up in this fucking thing.
On January 20th, 1977, 19-year-old John Zick was lured to Gacy's house in the pretext that he would be selling his Plymouth Satellite to Gacy. Plymouth Satellite, it's a car.
Thank you. Thank God I didn't know what the fuck that was for a second. I was like, okay, homie's the Elon Musk of the fucking 70s.
Gacy would later Gacy would later
Sale?
Oh my God. Gacy would later sell Zick's car to Michael Rossi.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
Seashells. Dude, my mom got a huge kick out of us doing that. No, I cannot not. But
oh, really?
Yeah.
I love you, babe.
There's just so many PDM employees. I don't understand how.
Like at one point, yeah, right. Like the detective on this case has a PDM employee roster. So many red lines crossed out. What does it mean?
He has the board and there's strings everywhere, and they're all leading back to Gacy, and he's like, I just don't
see the connection.
No, it could be anybody.
It could be anybody, honestly. Well,
definitely not this very wealthy, powerful man.
And who's this clown fuck?
Yeah, who the fuck is Pogo? So he sold the car later to Michael Rossi, and then sometime between January and March of 77, Gacy is known to have killed an unidentified adult male. 20-year-old John Prestige went missing in March of 77 after telling his friends that he had found work with a local contractor. He was found in the crawl space, but no cause of death could be determined. In spring or early summer of that same year, so 77, an unidentified boy was murdered and buried on top of Prestige's body in the northeast corner of the crawl space.
So this crawl space is fucking brimming with...
just getting... Like, they're stacked on top of each other. And... it was like his crawl space was below the water line, so he had to pump the water out of his crawl space all the time.
So, I mean, this, and you might get to it later, but also somebody driving by didn't go, fuck, it smells like shit out here.
I don't fucking know, man.
That's crazy.
So, on July 5th of 77, Gacy killed a 19-year-old named Matthew Bowman. The following month, Michael Rossi was arrested for stealing gas, and the Plymouth Satellite was noticed by the police and tracked back down to Gacy. Gacy claimed that Zick sold him the car back in February, and that he said Zick needed the money to run away and get out of town.
Man, a lot of your workers are running away there, bud. Again, another list on the board of runaways, all tied back to Gacy and the detective going, what do they mean?
So, Matthew Bowman... after he was killed, Gacy tried putting him in a closet, and he left him there for a few days. And later on, we'll get to his phrasing of it, but he would call it leakage. There's a lot of leakage, so he decided to put Matthew Bowman down in the crawl space.
Don't like that. Yeah. Don't like that at all. But hey, he's a construction guy. I'm sure he could find one of his employees to help.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit too.
Oh, Jesus! I keep fucking nailing it. I hate this place.
Gacy was known to have murdered another 6 men between the ages of 16 and 21 between October and December of 1977. First was on September 14th, 18-year-old Robert Gilroy. He was a police officer's son, and he was later found in the crawl space. It was literally this paragraph. So Gacy was out of town during this murder, which supported the claim that Gacy had that he had one or more accomplices. It is thought that the Chicago Ripper crew was part of Gacy's schemes.
I beg your finest of pardons. The who?
The Chicago Ripper crew. It was a group of 4 or 5 young men that
breakdance
killed people.
Are they
Very viciously killed people.
Were they a gang? Serial killers?
They're just a group of friends.
They're
And
just-
the leader of the group...
Don't call them just a group of friends. That's not friend
But
activities.
I'm just saying. And, like, the leader of the group was a known associate and employee of Gacy.
No shit. Wow.
Yeah, so the Chicago Ripper Crew is definitely a group we're going to end up talking about later on, but they're a very, very vicious group of young men.
Yeah, no shit. If Gacy's on your fucking speed dial, yeah, you're kind of not in good company.
Not at all. So 10 days later, September 24th of 77, 19-year-old former Marine named John Mallory. I don't know how you could be 19 and a former Marine.
Medical discharge, maybe?
Maybe. Or maybe he just did, like, he got in, did his one tour of Vietnam and got out. Because Vietnam's around this time, I think. I'm not the biggest history buff.
Weren't you in the army?
Not Vietnam.
Don't well, no shit, Sherlock.
Dumb fuck.
Don't they teach you guys history, or they just give you a gun and go shoot?
It's not school. It's not history class. I mean, we talk about some stuff, I guess, but we don't go through, like, the history.
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't know if they, like, teach you the history of what the army means, or if they just brainwash you.
Because I was an MP, and when you graduate
That's military police for you folks.
MP school, we went to, like, the MP...
It's military police school for those
we
folks.
went to the MP museum.
That's military police museum for you.
And, like, we got to see the history of the military police and stuff.
Okay,
Like,
that's MP for you folks.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, so John Mallory disappeared after leaving his mother's house. He was strangled and found in the crawl space. On October 17th, 21-year-old Russell Nelson disappeared, and he was last seen at a bar. He was tortured, murdered, and buried in the crawl space. So when I say tortured,
I was about to ask.
he was... Like another one, there is a survivor we will talk about.
DJ Khaled, another one.
Another one. There's a survivor we'll talk about, and judging from what he went through, we can speculate what others had went through.
Damn.
So we'll talk about that in just a second. So 3 weeks after him, 16-year-old Robert Lynch was murdered and buried in the crawl space, and on November 18th, 20-year-old father of one, Tommy Bowling, disappeared leaving a bar. He was also murdered and buried in the crawl space.
Is this what we consider a ramp up, or is this just his normal
This is just
spree?
his rampage.
This is just a. This is not even
2 years of killing.
Damn, and it's a couple weeks apart, every single one of them. Like, how?
And he raped and tortured every single one of them.
Honestly, though, CEO of a business, politically affiliated, community member, part-time clown, and a killer. I don't know how he juggles.
Most men are a full-time clown.
I do condemn it, but I commend his time management skills, because honestly, juggling all that,
Yeah.
it's impressive.
So 3 weeks after that, on December 9th, 19-year-old U.S. Marine David Talsma, he disappeared from a rock concert. He was found in the crawl space with a ligature still tied around his neck.
Jesus.
On December 30th of 77, 19-year-old Robert Donnelly was abducted by Gacy. Gacy, dressed as Pogo the Clown, would rape him, torture him, drown him repeatedly, and then revive him, all while saying, "Aren't we playing fun games tonight?" and mocking him. He'd also, like, quote the Bible and stuff like that.
So it is like Bible camp.
Yeah. So this is the guy that survived. Donnelly would later testify at Gacy's trial that he was in so much pain that he begged Gacy to kill him. Gacy was quoted as saying, "I'm getting around to that."
Wow.
After several hours of Gacy torturing him and drowning him repeatedly, he dropped him off at his work and told him that if he told the police, no one would ever believe him.
I mean, so far, yeah, that tracks.
On January 6th, so just a week later, he was called in for questioning because Donnelly had told the cops what happened.
Fucking snitch.
When questioned, Gacy admitted to having slave sex and said, "Maybe I took it a little too far, but I never paid the fucking kid. It was all consensual. It was all legal."
I did put him in blackface, which, you know what? My bad on that one. But
Yeah, because, like, he promised him money and
Yeah.
stuff. He's like, "I never paid the kid."
so he's like, hey, you can't get me for prostitution. That's crazy.
On February 16th of, I think we're still in 77 now, or
No, we're in 70.
we're in 78.
Yeah.
So on February 16th of 78, 19-year-old William Kindred was last seen saying bye to his fiancée, saying that he was going to a party. Kindred was the last one to be buried in the crawl space because Gacy had ran out of room.
Oh, not because he... Okay.
Yeah, he ran out of room in the crawl space.
So you got done Tetrising these motherfuckers down there. What
Yeah.
do you happen to know off the top of your head the square footage of the crawl space?
No, I don't have the exact square footage, but it really wasn't very big. I mean, his house was only 1,400 square feet or something like that.
Oh, so it couldn't have been big at all.
Yeah, it wasn't very big.
Still, because that's a shit ton of
Yeah,
bodies.
it's like 30 bodies.
That's still
30
a lot
something.
of bodies for any space in a household
Yeah.
to fit in. That's crazy.
On March 21st of 78, Gacy lured 26-year-old Jeffrey Rignall into his car. Gacy chloroformed him immediately and took him to his house, where he was restrained by his head and arms in a pillory device that was bolted to the ceiling.
Okay, he's upgrading.
He repeatedly raped him and tortured him with various instruments, including whips, candles, and would chloroform him over and over, making him unconscious. And then when he'd wake up, he'd chloroform him again. He dumped him at Lincoln Park, but he was alive,
Oh.
and his liver is permanently damaged from all the chloroform.
Oh, so another survivor.
The cops were notified, but Gacy was never investigated.
So again, this fucker did it, and the cops are like, couldn't have been him.
Yeah.
Nah.
Could have been anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense to me, like, how much
He got away with.
he got away with, yeah.
I think
Or even why he'd, like, let these few be, like, he just let them go.
why did he let him go? Like, was he just tired of him? Was he not getting gratification anymore?
I have no idea.
Was he? Because we talked about it once, I think, when he had that one kid over, making him breakfast, killed him. He had a sexual awakening during that.
Yeah,
right?
That's when he said that killing was the ultimate thrill.
So has he? I don't know. Has he been killing for that thrill, sexual gratification, or has he not needed it at this point?
I think both, because he's been, like, torturing them and
Oh, so he's just
raping them
drawing
and
it out.
everything, yeah.
Oh, fucking wild.
He's just enjoying it more.
So nobody fucking hears screams or anything coming from his house at 3 a.m?
No. Well, they heard the screams, but they never did anything about it.
There's that Gacy fella.
That guy went to the cops.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happened. Since he ran out of room in the crawl space, Gacy thought he would use the attic, but then remembered the excessive leakage issue he had with the body that he put in his closet. So instead of putting them in the attic, he decided to drop them off a bridge into the Des Moines River. He said he threw 5 bodies total in the river in 1978, one of which he said landed on a passing barge, and 4 of those 5 bodies were found.
DSMOINES?
Yeah, Des Moines.
Des Moines.
Des Moines.
Des Moines.
Whatever.
What, English is in your first fucking language? It's French, actually, because of the... Anyways.
20-year-old Timothy O'Rourke was the first of these victims, and he was killed in mid-June of 1978 after telling his family that he got a job working for a company called PDM. Frank Lang was murdered in November of 1978. His naked body was found in the river on November 12th.
He was found with the carving John Wayne Gacy was here on his chest. No arrests were made. Fuck.
No connections were yet made in the murder of this young man. 20-year-old James Nassara disappeared after Thanksgiving dinner with his family, and his body was also found in the river. In December of 1978, Gacy was at it's spelled like Nissan, like the car
Nissan?
company, but it's Nissan.
Yeah.
It's Nissan Pharmacy. And he had mentioned to a 15-year-old named Robert Peist that he often hired high school-age boys and paid them well above the average minimum wage. So the minimum wage at the time was like $2, $2.50, something like that.
So crazy that the 70s...
But he paid $5 an hour. So shortly after Gacy had left, Peist's mother said that she came to pick up Peist from work and said that he was going to go for a quick interview with some contractor guy that he met at the pharmacy. This was at 9 p.m. He told his mom that he'd be back soon because it was her birthday that day. Peist was murdered shortly after 10 p.m. at Gacy's house. Gacy said that he did the handcuff trick on him. He raped him several times and then received a call from a work colleague and was on the phone while Peist laid on the ground and suffocated. He had a ligature around his neck. So Peist's family reported him missing the following day, and Gacy was named as the primary suspect.
Finally!
After talking to the witnesses at the pharmacy.
Fuck. Jesus Christ.
Gacy was requested by the police to come down to the station and make a statement. Gacy said he couldn't at the moment, that there had been a death in the family, claiming his uncle had just died, and when the police urged him to get down to the police station, Gacy said, "Don't you have any respect for the dead?"
You son of a bitch. Hey, I'm dealing with some shit here, all right? I'm fucking going through it.
At 3:20 a.m., Gacy showed up to the police station with him and his car completely covered in mud, claiming that he had gotten into a car accident, but that he was ready to make his statement, and then denied any involvement with Peist.
He said he didn't do it, guys. I trust him.
The investigators ended up talking to his ex-wife Carol and the people at Nissen Pharmacy, and Carol had...
Oh, they're fucking finally doing their job.
Yeah,
huh?
Carol had
shit.
mentioned that a young man named John Buckvich that used to work for PDM had gone missing, and then as they looked farther into it, they noticed more people from PDM had gone missing.
The detective looking at all these strings, holding up a picture of PDM that lines up with the PDM roster going, my God.
My God, it was here the whole time.
It was here the whole time.
Investigators conducted a search of Gacy's house and found several police badges, a starter pistol, hypodermic needles, an 18-inch dildo, several driver's license, and a class ring with the initials JZ engraved on it. That obviously was not Robert Peist's class ring.
Yeah.
So they didn't link it to him.
But the dildo did belong.
Yeah. Yeah, with that 18-inch dildo that they found.
Good God, like 18 inches is I guess not for a contractor. They're used to dealing with 18 inches.
Yeah, quite a bit.
But so homie's got a bunch of badges, fake badges. Where do you get fake badges at anyway?
I think he just buys them at the store. Like,
what do you mean
like
at this
pawn shop or something? Probably. I don't know.
There's no way a pawn shop just has badges fucking lying around.
He would use the badges like he'd
impersonate an officer.
Yeah, he'd impersonate an officer and like tell people that he's a cop and stuff like that.
And he's got a starter pistol.
But he's probably dressed as Pogo, and they're like, "Are you?"
Yeah, I just came from a cop clown convention. What? You're fucking racist all of a sudden? Huh? Honk honk, bitch.
Honk honk.
Yeah. Oh, you got something behind your ear. Just flips them off. Yeah, there you go. So a bunch of badges, hypodermic needle. Was he drugging them? I thought he was just chloroforming them.
They found like Valium and a bunch of other like types of drugs.
Oh, he's got that good shit,
stuff.
the Valiums.
Yeah.
Okay. Sleepy time. Yeah. I used to get those all the time.
So yeah, I don't know what he was using the hypodermic needles for, but he had them.
Okay.
And God only knows what he did with that dildo.
Jesus. I don't even want to think about it.
And the starter pistol, I mean, it's just a gun.
Yeah. Because it's just the ones that they use like during track meets, right?
Yeah.
Did those actually shoot anything, or are they
it's like a
just like a black powder
pellet type gun.
But I mean, if you're gonna impersonate a cop, you gotta do the whole bit.
Pull the gun on him and everything.
Yeah.
Stop resisting.
Stop pistol whipping him. Total body count up to this point is like in the high 30s.
This Peist is his last victim.
Peist is his last victim before. Okay, so everything's crumbling down now. Last victim is Peist. Because when we were first talking about serial killers with like Ed Kemper and everybody, you mentioned a ramp up. He didn't have a ramp up. Everything was just
didn't really have a ramp up. Like, he had his first kill in 1975, and then his father died, and he got divorced, and it was like nothing was holding him back now. He was actually able to do whatever he fucking wanted, and that's what he wanted. All by learning that killing was the ultimate thrill after... Well, from what he said, accidentally killing that kid.
The message of this episode, folks, is live your truth. Be who you want to be. Don't let anybody hold you back from being the best you can be.
Especially not your dad.
Especially not your dad. Hey, fuck you, Dad. Wherever you are, Dad. Seriously, I don't know where you're at. I miss you, but hope you're doing okay. He's in Mexico. I deported him.
Daddy, come home.
Daddy doesn't know. No, wait.
It's Scotty doesn't know.
Yeah, no, hold on.
Great song.
Hold on. What's the song?
Scotty doesn't.
Daddy doesn't get.
Oh, Daddy wasn't there to change my underwear.
To take me to the fair.
I love that song.
It's a good song. I was trying to remember the tempo and I couldn't for a second.
Daddy wasn't there to change my
underwear. It's a good song.
It's Austin Powers, right?
But what was that?
Austin Powers.
Austin Powers, yeah. Michael Myers. I was thinking about doing another one.
I'd watch it.
I would. I don't know how it'll do in this current climate that we live in with certain jokes not being able to go over so well.
Yeah.
Bastard. My neck looks like a vagina. Don't cut that. Keep it.
I'll keep it. Yeah.
Good. But so they finally catch this guy after 47.
Well, not yet.
Oh no, they don't catch. He's under investigation.
He's under investigation right now.
Oh.
We're getting to that.
Imagine, I swear to God, if we get into the next episode and you tell me, so they let him go, he kills 10 more people, I'm gonna lose my shit.
He was arrested while in Chicago just previous to this arrest, like a year prior.
Shit. He went to jail once, got out.
Yeah, so he got arrested in Iowa, but he got arrested again in Chicago, but the charges were all dropped.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because the guy didn't show up because he was afraid.
Or he was dead. I don't know. It didn't really go into too much detail. It just said that he was arrested and that charges were dropped.
Yeah.
So.
And then the survivors. That's what keeps throwing me off. Like
the 2 survivors.
Yeah, like why let them go?
Letting those 2 go. I don't understand. Like why those 2? Why not
like maybe
the other 33?
Right. Why none of the other ones? Like what was it about these 2? Did they say something? Did they comply better? What was it that made you not kill them?
Yeah, was it not satisfying enough?
Sure. Like did you leave a bad Yelp review or like what like, what was going on?
Maybe they were too good. Maybe instead of screaming in pain, they were like, "Oh." Maybe
they were into it. He's like, "This isn't what I want. This isn't fun, dude. You ruined it for me." Yeah, don't like it. Wild.
You're supposed to struggle.
It's called a snuggle struggle.
So after all of that was found in his house, 2-man police teams were set up to keep a 24-hour surveillance on Gacy. They'd follow him everywhere. And I mean everywhere.
Because he wasn't detained, that's right. So they're just like, you're prime
suspect. Because they had nothing to arrest him for, because they were looking into Peist's disappearance, nothing else.
Yeah, they were.
The other stuff was just slowly popping up.
Yeah. The detective's just like, it's this clown guy, Pogo, but we don't know who he is.
Who could Pogo be? God damn it.
It's like Batman, where everybody's
His wife comes in, dinner's ready. Not now, god damn it.
He goes to like smack the plate out of her hand, and the paper of Pogo lands over John Wayne Gacy's, and they just line up perfectly. He's like, wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Jesus Christ.
What's this doing here? Why is there a picture of John Wayne Gacy here? Get this out of here.
I could never arrest this man.
He was at my bar mitzvah. It's like, what? We're not even Jewish.
So they'd follow him around, and he knew it, and he'd get out of his car and be like, hey, you want to go eat? And they'd go have lunch together. They'd go eat breakfast together. And he'd just hang out with them and talk to them, and like, he's under investigation for this kid going missing.
But that's kind of genius, though, because it's like, listen, if I act like I have nothing to hide, then I'm so far out of your radar.
Yeah.
And at that point, there was no social media, so you couldn't like snap a selfie and post it. It'd be like tricking these idiots, LOL.
Yeah.
Having lunch with the bestie.
After a secondary...
# don't look in my crawl space.
After a search of the house, one of the officers noticed that there was a trap door into the crawl space.
Oh, no.
So he went down into the crawl space, and he kind of looked around and stifled around through the mud, and he noticed that it was like there was a water pump and everything, that it was like under the water line.
Yeah.
And he didn't really think anything of it, but Gacy saw the muddy footprints, and he started stressing out.
Oh, yeah.
Really
no
bad.
Shit.
That they had searched through his crawl space.
So how did they not find the bodies, though?
They're buried in the crawl space.
Oh.
Yeah. They're not just all stacked up in the crawl space.
Listen, my mind, like, I thought he was just, like, plastering them on a wall, like, wallpaper.
No, they're buried. They're all buried.
But this cop went down there. It's like, just a crawl space.
Yep. He looked around. He dug just a little bit, but he didn't see anything, smell anything.
Yeah.
So he left.
I bet that boy was fucking stressing, though.
Another PDM employee was later interviewed during the investigation, and they asked what kind of work he had done in John Gacy's basement, because they pulled aside all the people that had worked at John Gacy's house. And he said, I don't know, I dug some trenches, I poured some lime, and... lime helps decomposition. So he said that he had poured a whole bunch of lime.
That's also LYME, not LIME, folks. Two very different things.
Not Lyme disease.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he dug trenches, poured a bunch of lime, and they decided that once they could actually figure out how to arrest this guy, the crawl space is where they needed to look.
That's where we'll pick up for next episode?
No.
Oh, shit, there's more.
Almost. So after there was more evidence found during the 24-hour surveillance that more PDM employees had gone missing, on December 25th, they would find out that ring belonged to John Zick.
Because now they're going through the roster.
Yep, now they're going through the roster.
Fucking 2 years later.
Yep, and then they would get a statement from Gacy's ex-wife, Carol, about John Bukovich disappearing from work, and on December 23rd, 1978, Gacy was seen handing a small amount of marijuana to an underage male and was arrested. And that is where we will pick back up on part 3.
God damn it, if you're committing crimes, Don't commit smaller crimes.
Well, the funny thing is like when they were following him, he'd try to lose them, so he'd blow through stop signs and stoplights. But they didn't want to get him on a traffic violation. They needed to get him on something that would
substantial,
stick, so they could arrest him and hold him.
Yeah.
And so they were just waiting for that one moment, because they're like, hey, he just ran another stop sign, and he'd lose them for a hot minute, and then they'd catch up with him.
Well, he'd have to go back home eventually anyway.
Yeah, but they said like it's December, and he'd be like speeding down the fucking the street, like through residential areas and stuff.
So for like a whole month, homie was getting everywhere he needed to on time because he's just blowing through stop signs.
Yep. So. Yeah, the one thing they got him on was the marijuana.
Yeah, don't ever commit small crimes. 'Cause that's what they'll fucking get you on, dude. Every fucking time.
Wasn't there a cartel
There's a lot of them
that was busted for a broken taillight or something? Or is that one of their sons? I can't remember.
I don't remember. Could have also been a movie. Something.
Probably.
But I've had friends who got busted for like little things like jaywalking. And then they just do just a little search and seizure, and it's like, oh, you got some pot on you. Guess what, bitch? I'm like, you fucking dumbass.
Guess what, motherfucker? So yeah, that's those are all of his murders.
Fuck.
Yeah. Next week we will get into his trial, and yeah.
I want to ask so many things, but I can wait.
I will tell you that while he was in jail, he did make a phone call to a PDM employee telling them to go turn his water pump off in the crawl space.
Listen, you can't ask any fucking
break,
questions.
Yeah, he wanted him to go break his pump so that the basement would fill up with water.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. John Wayne Gacy, an American hero, entrepreneur. Provided jobs, involved in his economy, in his community, and involved deeply in the clown kink. Was it a kink?
No, I think he just regressed back into childhood.
Yeah, so do I.
Like
but
that
I just
quote,
play video
"Aren't
games.
we playing fun games tonight?" That's creepy.
That is
as
weird.
he's drowning him.
Yeah. God.
And you could just imagine he probably did his clown voice too.
Was it high pitched?
Yeah,
It was high pitched.
probably.
Yeah.
Aren't we playing fun games tonight? That's like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. Oh boy, aren't we playing fun games?
Here's an 18-inch dildo.
Here's my mouse tool. We're gonna need that for later.
My mouse tool.
Man,
I really wish, like, we would know if he had accomplices though.
Oh, so we don't know for certain.
We don't know for certain. He just claimed it. He only claimed that, and there was some of the murders that took place, like the person just disappeared, but they were found in his basement. Mm-hmm. When they disappeared, he was out of town several times. So that like helps with the claim that he didn't do it alone, but they've never had anyone come forward. They've never found any more evidence of it.
But how do they know for sure he was out of town?
He had like plane tickets and stuff.
I could buy a fucking plane ticket and not be on the plane.
I don't know. He was in Pittsburgh for one of those. The one that when we talked about the Chicago Ripper crew. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I mean, that's also, that's a couple hours drive.
Yeah, Chicago to Pittsburgh is like at least 12.
No.
No?
There's no shot. No, because from Chicago to Indianapolis was 3 hours, and from Indianapolis to Pennsylvania, well, it might be because it's further on the east side. Yeah, how long is it?
Oh, it's only 7 hours.
See? Fucking stupid.
I drive 7 hours in Montana. You're still in Montana.
I know. I hate it. I fucking hate it so goddamn much.
In the East Coast, you drive 7 hours, and you're like,
in 5 different states.
wow, I'm already at the Gulf Coast. Fucking A, dude. I have some cousins that live over in Ohio, and we were in high school, and my one cousin was texting me, and she's like, yeah.
Is this a kissing cousin?
We have to drive. No. Oh. Gross, dude.
Can it be?
I'm not into that. I'm not from Kentucky or Alabama.
Sweet home Alabama.
Put it in my sister.
What? Excuse me? I'm her favorite mister.
But she'd like complain, we gotta drive 5 hours today. We're going to North Carolina.
Oh, go fuck yourselves. Yeah, whatever.
Wow.
Grow up.
I should drive fucking forever to get to anywhere I want
to get out of this bitch. Yeah. Please help me. Free me. Release me. Guys, you got to understand something. In order for me to leave Montana, this podcast needs to become popular enough for me to be able to sustain our livelihood off of it. So I have a very, very, very lucrative idea, and just hear me out, okay? This is to convince you guys to continue listening to us. Fuck me. Thank you, everybody, so much for that.
Honestly, I didn't think we'd make it past like 2 episodes.
Really?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you.
Why?
That first one was rough, man.
Listen, the first one was rough. I'll say we were both nervous. We were both a little nervous. We both got a little high, and that was our mistake. So first episode was rough. We learned from our mistake. Second episode, still rough.
It was better.
It was a lot better. I think it wasn't until the third or fourth episode because we had to refilm those, re-record them.
Yeah, because it was Ed Kemper in the Drish house, and then it got better.
Yeah, and then we realized, hey, you know what? We can't be that blitzed out of our fucking mind. At least I couldn't.
No, I couldn't either.
So
I sound like, would that person call me a fucking potato? Yeah.
That lingers on your head rent-free.
Yeah.
Every now and again you'll bring it up. You're like, I'm not a fucking potato.
I'm not a potato. I don't care if I sound like one.
You don't sound like
What
a
does a
potato.
potato sound like? Me?
Hey, I'm Mr. Potato Head. I don't
I'm
know.
Mr. fucking Potato Head. Where's my fucking nose?
Hey, what are you talking about, eh?
Give me my hand back. Gabagool.
Gabagool. I don't know why he's Italian from fucking Staten Island, but...
Yeah.
No, I thank you guys for 3,000.
It's like Toy Story, but he's mixed with... What's that mafia TV show on
The Sopranos?
HBO?
Yeah.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, Tony. Hey, Woody. You're talking to your Buzz pal there. What are you guys talking about, eh?
You think they
Think
ever met...
You trying to snitch on me, eh?
You think they ever met Andy's mom's toys with the same
Stop.
name?
Yeah, Buzz and Woody.
Yeah.
And Slinky.
Slinky.
Slinky was the dog that stretched.
What would be her toy that stretched? I'm scared. Marty, I'm scared.
It's all right. I'll be gentle.
What is it? Tell me.
Oh, it'll be butt plugs.
Slinky butt plugs?
They have a little stretch to them. They gotta be silicone.
I've never been around one.
You want to?
No, no. I was just...
Come on. Hey, why are you afraid?
I thought you were talking about like those beads.
Anal beads.
Benoit beads or whatever.
Anal beads?
Benoit beads?
Or
Or Benoit balls.
What the fuck is a Benoit bead?
And it's the same thing, isn't it?
I don't know what a Benoit ball is. They gotta search it up.
Let's Google it.
Because you're making shit up. The only Benoit I know is Chris Benoit. Please, 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 please get me out of here.
Yeah, Benoit balls.
Oh, like the Kegel balls.
It's like a marble you shove up your ass and then...
Oh, it goes up your butt. Never mind. Because I know there's Kegel balls that they'll use sometimes to like.
But that don't
hold
you
in.
put those like between your legs? You
No. That goes up. That goes up the vagina.
Up the wiener?
Up. Like what? You're loading this shit like a musket?
Do women not have wieners? Loading it like a musket? Yeah, I got the ramrod.
You got the
I was
ram- the powder charge, the little wad at the end. Do you think that's how old people do it with Viagra? They just musket load it in,
I don't know.
just straight to the source. You know?
Go to the senior center.
Let's
and
go to the
ask.
senior center and check.
Why do you all have chlamydia?
What? Dude, old people fucking.
Old people fuck, dude.
Old people be fucking, dude. The old people be fucking each other. They be fucking our economy. They be fucking
Well, just
our fucking housing market.
Jesus-
Old people be fucking things
Jesus
over.
fucked.
Jesus 100% fucked.
Yeah.
Jesus laid down that pipe. Or that cross.
Everybody
whatever.
fucks.
Yeah.
Just,
Do you think?
if you're 29 and she's 16, say no. Don't do it. That's gross.
Yeah, not that we know anything by example.
No, that just popped in my head.
That's just, it's just a random age that we came up with. Fucking goddamn it. Yeah, listen, if you happen to be a teen listening to this, first of all, don't. This is explicit content.
Yeah, don't listen to
Yeah,
us.
first, what the fuck?
I will not give you good life advice.
Yeah, no. But second of all, you're not mature for your age.
If he cheats on you, fuck his dad. Give him a son to be proud of.
Hold on. Before you take that advice, you're not mature for your age. You're still a child. That older person that's so interested in you that tells you that you're wise beyond your years is grooming you. So fucking get help. Stranger danger.
Kill him.
Do not condone this. I'm fucking dying over there.
I'm sick, I told you.
Yeah, I know. But no, 3,000. Fucking thank you guys so much for that.
Yeah, seriously, thank you. That's...
At the beginning of the year, 2025, we will be launching.
Oh shit, it is going to be 2025.
It is going to be 2025. Fucking
Oh
wild.
god, I'm going to be 30.
Oh god, I'm gonna be 32. Not
As
I'm
well.
Not, yeah, 3-2. But keep your eye out, and we'll announce it when it officiates and officially launches. Merch is coming. We're gonna have the Spooky Guys T-shirts, the Spooky Guys stickers, Spooky Guys, all sorts of fun stuff. We're also gonna have members only pages, so you guys can help support us and get extra content. Do you want more episodes? Do you want goofy videos? Do you want to watch us go to haunted locations and record there? Cool. You can get all that kind of stuff coming. Yeah, no. No. You guys get to vote on where we travel to, where we go, all the things. There's so much stuff coming 2025. We're super excited for it. Thank you again for all the love and support. Kellen, you got anything?
So,
Okay.
yeah, we saved the banter for the end. Got to get through the
We had to get through the
killing,
nitty-gritty first. Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of fun to be had in this episode.
No, because I want to be respectful of like the victims and everything. And we've had this conversation. Rape is not something to joke about. It's the low-hanging fruit of comedy. And not only
Same
is
with
it,
sex jokes.
one every now and again
Yeah.
is fine, but when it's all sex jokes, it's like, okay, like, get it.
Yeah.
It's funny. Ha ha ha. You've never touched a vagina. You know?
I get it. I was 15.
Yeah.
I laughed at those really hard at one point too.
Mm-hmm.
But
But we're better than that.
are we?
We're both fucking dying. We though? You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we better than that?
We're not better than that. Yeah. We're slightly better. It's like, you know that song, Started From the Bottom, Now We're Here?
We're still there.
We started from the bottom. We're slightly above the bottom. Like, we're not quite at the bottom. No, the others think best of luck. Thank you guys for everything. Can't wait to hear the next episode and see what the trial looked like and all that fun stuff. If you're listening to this right now and you didn't listen to the other episode, there's another one that released today on Christmas, the Chupacabra episode. So you can go ahead and wash some of the...
We have some pretty funny banter on that one.
That one's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
And if you want to rinse some of the John Wayne Gacy out of your mouth, as some other people I'm sure would have wished they could, you can go ahead and check that episode out. Or if you're here from that episode, let us know what it was like. Leave a comment, leave a like.
Yeah. If you're here before part 1, fuck you. Go back. Listen to part 1.
Yeah, dumbass, what are you doing here? Fucking go back.
Yeah, we're at the end.
Yeah.
How'd you get this far?
Far and not go, hey, what's happening here? What are you, one of the detectives on the John Wayne case? So thanks for listening. Go check out the other episodes. Kellen, send us off.
Send us off. Make sure to comment and review. Leave us the reviews. It helps us with getting more views and
Yeah. Send us an email too. We've gotten a couple great fan emails, but
some awesome emails.
yeah.
So, yeah, stay spooky, guys, and I hope you have a very Merry Christmas and a New Year's, and we'll see you sometime on down the line.
See you in 2025. Feliz Navidad. Go fuck yourself.
Bye.